Okay, so I've just worked out how to play your old devices through your HomePod via an iOS device. So I'm just currently rewinding a cassette. Remember those days? And it's taken its time. I've also got a record deck here as well. Both of those can play through my iPad. And the way you do this is there's an app called AirChord. Oh, my cassette's finally finished. Let's see if we can get that in focus. Yeah, AirChord. And if I press play on the cassette, you'll hear probably a bit of hiss, and then it will start coming through. And this AirChord app is free on the App Store. For some reason it's got a 1 star, but I'm going to give it a 5 star. You can see the music starts, and if I go over to my HomePod, get my mic near to it, won't get a copyright strike if it's not that loud. So I'll just stop that playing now. You can hear that it carries on for a little bit after it's been playing. So now if I want to put my record deck through, all I've got to do is, and I'll explain how this cable works. So basically I've got an analog cable. This is just going into a coupler, going into this little adapter. So there is a line input on this adapter, which you should be able to see if I lighten it up. Yeah, line in. And this is actually going via USB into a hub, which I'll show you. Let's plug that into line in. Let's put a record on. Could do with a clean, really. In absence of a cloth, I'll use my finger. Right, so drop that down, and you'll see the same thing happens. So the stars just drop down, the audio will start, and then it will send it to the HomePod at the wrong speed. So that's that, and I need to make sure that not too much music plays, because I'll get in trouble otherwise. And I'll show you one more record, because this just as a nice little history lesson if you weren't into records. This is Floppy, and it was on the front of a magazine, and it's Rick Astley's Hit Mix. Don't worry, this is a real video. I know people will probably say it's fake, but it does actually work perfectly well. It's running at the wrong speed. Let's put it at the right speed. Because strangely for a 7-inch, it's running at 33 RPMs, whereas they'd normally play at 45, like the Depeche Mode one I just played. There you go. Now, unfortunately, my cassette deck is a bit slow at the moment. Not my cassette deck, my record deck is playing a bit slow, but you could hear from the cassette deck that it's playing at the right speed. But also, if I want to plug through anything else, I can. So I've got an iPad here. I can plug that into that same socket. Even though it's a mic socket, it doesn't need to be a device that is a microphone device. So it works with anything with a normal line output, because my record deck isn't. It's an equalised turntable, so it will play through any auxiliary input, and obviously tape always does. So if I was to tap on a track on this, there you go. So that's playing from my iPad through the sound adapter, and let's pause this because I can't keep that playing again, and let's go freehand. So basically the way it's working is, well, in the case of the iPad, it's a headphone cable going into my sound adapter. And the same thing was happening from my record deck and my tape deck. So both of these were plugged in via ordinary analog cables. So this is a little USB sound card, and it was very cheap. I think I probably paid about £10, £15, something like that, probably less than that. It's powered by a USB mini cable. If I was to plug it straight into my iPad, straight into this iPad adapter, it says it takes too much power and it doesn't work. But if I plug it through this powered hub, which is like an Android hub that I've had for many years, and I've done another video on this hub, it actually doesn't take too much power and it works fine. You could possibly do this a bit more simply. There's another version of this adapter which has got a little socket to allow it to power the iPad whilst you use the device. So if you had that one, it's a bit more expensive, but that would work. But I've got these devices anyway, so it's not costing me anything. The app is completely free. And as you can see, there's no real settings or anything on it. It just comes on and it just works. You can see the other thing there, the USB sound device. I can send the sound out through the sound device as well, because I've got outputs. I've even got optical, but I don't think the optical works with iOS. It works with a Windows device. It may work with Android, I'm not sure. But that's a way of getting your old devices, like my old £25 Pioneer turntable and my old Sony record tape deck rather, and my old Sony record deck. So hope this helps. It is genuine. I was really surprised to get it working after so much time, because I've been trying about 10 different audio recorder apps. I had this idea that maybe it would work, and I was trying to use audio recording apps and then monitor it live, but none of those worked. But AirChord does work, so what we need to do is go in and give it a 5-star. Oh, where's it gone? AirChord. Give it a 5-star review, and I'll give it. Why has it got 1 star? Look, no stereo HomePod support. Oh, okay. Well that's why. And I've just ordered another HomePod, so I won't be able to use it for stereo. But the possibilities are definitely there. I'm still going to give it a 5-star review because it's a free app, and I think it deserves more. All right. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Just as a little extra, I thought I'd show you what APS was like, which was a search system on cassette. So if you wanted the next song, so you'd have a look at the back of the cassette and you'd have a look and you'd say, oh yeah, level 42, next song. So you hit fast forward, and this is how long you would have to wait. So you imagine if you wanted to listen to Cash Flow or Big Country, you're going to be waiting a bit longer. But it's looking for the gap between the songs. Sometimes albums had no gap. Or very little gap, and so it would go straight past it. So we'll see if it still works after all these years, if level 42 is the next song that plays. No. So somehow found somewhere in the same track, unless that's the end of that track. Oh, there you go. So we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.